What if the next global crisis doesn't start in Africa? But Africa feels the shock first. Right now, tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States are raising fears of a wider war. At first glance, it seems like a distant conflict in the Middle East, but history shows something different. When global powers clash, Africa is rarely untouched. So the real question is, should Africa be worried? The tension between Iran and Israel has been building for decades. Israel views Iran as a major security threat, especially over its military and nuclear ambitions. Iran, on the other hand, opposes Israel's influence in the Middle East and supports groups that challenge it. The United States, one of Israel's strongest allies, has also had a long and complicated rivalry with Iran. Because of this, any direct confrontation between these countries could quickly grow into a much larger regional crisis, and when major powers move, the effects rarely stay contained. Even though Africa is thousands of kilometers away from the battlefield, the continent is deeply connected to global trade and energy systems. One of the most important areas in this equation is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage near Iran is one of the world's most critical oil routes. A large portion of the world's oil supply moves through this channel every single day. If conflict disrupts this route, global oil prices could rise sharply. And for many African countries that import fuel, that could mean higher transportation costs, more expensive food, rising inflation. In other words, ordinary Africans could feel the economic impact almost immediately. Another area to watch is the Red Sea. This narrow body of water connects global shipping routes between Asia, Europe, and Africa. At its northern entrance lies one of the most important trade gateways on Earth, the Suez Canal. Every year, billions of dollars in goods pass through this corridor. Countries in the Horn of Africa sit right beside this strategic route. If regional tensions spread into the Red Sea, shipping disruptions could slow trade into East Africa and beyond. Which means, honestly, the ripple effects of a distant war could quickly reach African ports, markets, and economies. For many Africans, this situation may feel familiar. Throughout history, global conflicts have often drawn Africa into struggles that began elsewhere. During World War I, African soldiers and resources were pulled into European rivalries. The same happened again during World War II, when African territories became battlefields and supply hubs. Even though these wars were not started on the continent, Africa still played a crucial role in their outcomes. Today, the world is different, but the global connections remain. And once again, events far beyond Africa's borders could shape its economic future. So, should Africa be worried? The continent is unlikely to become a battlefield in a conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States. But economically and strategically, Africa cannot ignore what happens next. Because in a globalized world, distant wars often travel through oil prices, trade routes, and political alliances. And that honestly raises a bigger question for the future. Will Africa simply react to global crises, or will it position itself to shape the world that emerges from them? If you enjoyed this episode of Journey Through Africa, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.